Hello, beautiful souls. How's everybody doing? This is Dr. Danny, physician astrologer. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. I have such an amazing presentation for you today. I am so happy and grateful that you're all here and that we can be here together on this beautiful Friday, Venus's Day, you guys. I am working on a big decode. It's actually becoming multiple videos. If you go to my playlist section on the YouTube channel and check out the Venus, Mercury, Pi Phi, Fine Structure Constant playlist, you're going to see 3 videos in there. We're working on a bigger timeline. And the next decode for that is going to be probably next Sunday. Okay. One of the bigger days in this timeline that we've been watching is coming up on March 1st. So, right around the 28th and March 1st, we're going to dive into some of that. We're going to go from the 16th of February all the way to the 1st of March. So, look out for that. That's coming. I'm super excited. Also, let's see what else is going on. This conversation that we're going to have today is about the full moon coming up on the 12th of February. And when I was looking into this full moon, I discovered that its name was the cold moon, but it also had other names. A lot of them are very northern hemisphere names because February is typically a cold time in the northern hemisphere. So I got names like bear moon, eagle moon, raccoon moon. So I went ahead and I took all of those names and I did a little numerology with those names. And then I also looked up the moon magic square because believe it or not, if you didn't know this is amazing. All of the planets have their own magic square. And I'll explain what a magic square is in a little bit. But essentially for the moon magic square, we have a 9 by 9 square with 181 digits that are all unique. So none of the digits between 1 and audio sync issue again. Oh my gosh, this is so frustrating. I don't know. Maybe Ultimus can come in here and help me because I have everything set up right. I don't know what else to do. Let me try this. Let's see if that's better. One says default and the other one says just the name. So this might be the right way to go. Ugh. Anyway, so the moon magic square is a 9 by 9 grid of squares that have numbers in them, 1 through 81, and they don't repeat themselves. The other unique thing about the magic squares, no matter what size they are, is that all of the columns and all of the rows, if you add them up, equal the same number. And for the moon magic square, the number is 369. So that's super interesting to me. That's a very powerful set of numbers, 3, 6, and 9. Any of you that have heard of Nikola Tesla, he was quoted for saying that famous phrase, 369 is the keys to the universe, harmony and frequency. So for the moon magic square, the one that we're using, its grand or magic sum is 369. There's some other interesting things that you can do with the square, but we're going to get into that at the end. We're going to connect the numbers in that square to the actual decode that we're doing. And don't worry, all of this is the second half of our conversation. The first half is going to be the astrology of this moon. So I'm going to go through each of the placements. We're going to go through the aspects they're making to other luminaries and see what that feels like for us. Then as we dive into the numerology and start decoding this moon, we're going to have the medicine deck. And so I'll read you some energies from the medicine deck as well for eagle, bear, and then there's a couple other animals that come up. And then we're going to learn about I don't know where Francis came from, Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. And Agrippa lived from 1486 to he lived till about 48 years old, a fascinating man. So we're going to talk about him because he was the one who brought these magic squares to the general awareness through one of his books that he wrote. So real excited to do that today for you guys. Do me a favor. YouTube's being a funny little biatch. So if you guys are noticing that you're getting unsubscribed to other channels, make sure and go back and just check your subscription list. Also, whenever you see one of my event links pop up, just hit notify. That way you're letting YouTube know that you like me and that you want to see my videos. It just helps me out, and I like the attention. I want to know that people are actually getting into what I'm talking about and understanding what we're doing here. So, thumbs up the video, share this if there's somebody you know that might be into it. I'd love to get some new people into our community. Let's see who's here. All right. We have Lori from Washington getting some snow. We have Celtic Thistle Physics. Hi, good evening from the UK. Hello, hello. Ultimus is here. Yeah, it's 80 degrees in Corpus Christi, so I don't even know what you mean by snow. That's a that's a foreign thing. All right, John Doe is here. It's Friday, Venus's day. Debbie at Shifting Veils says, love and light. Thank you. Right back at you. I can feel it. I can feel all of your beautiful lights here. And I love you so much for being here. Lisa Anjet Lewis is here. Spiritually Lucky says, woohoo. Yeah, thanks for the woohoo. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's a false quote from Tesla. But I mean, I just wanted to draw you guys to the connection. And it doesn't take away from the power of 369 for sure. And Heather from San Diego. Hello, my dear. Snow's a 4-letter word for sure. Cool. All right. Well, I'm doing great. I am, as always, having a magical day because that's how I choose to live my life. I put the intention out there every single day that I am going to have a magical day. Even when the weird things happen, in some ways, it's also still very magical. So, magic, esoteric topics, they are something from the ancient past, from before the patriarch, from before the Christian Bible, from before any really major religions. There was this connection to the stars, to the sky, to the universe. It was the first science. Like literally, astrology, astronomy was the first science. I mean, imagine yourself, no lights on, you're sitting in the dark and you're contemplating your existence because and then you see the sky. And because you can see the sky and imagine your place in this vast expanse, it changes how you attack the world in front of you. It gives you a spiritual guidance almost. And then when you're watching the stars, you notice them move. You notice that there's a shift. And so you translate that movement into equations, into formulas. And there goes mathematics. Cartography used the stars. Navigation used the stars. It was literally our first science. It's also associated to medicine. I bet you guys, some of you guys may not have known this, but if you wanted to be a doctor in Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa's time, you actually had to study astrology first. So it doesn't surprise me that these OG truthers from this early time, like late Middle Ages, early Renaissance, were into astrology. It was a prerequisite to get into medical school until about 1650. And I think that they should actually bring it back. I think you should have to learn it before you can graduate elementary school. What a different world we would have, huh? Yeah. Cool. Beth Hansen's here. Nika Shea is here. Alchie Brower is here. We have 17 in the chat. That is a prime number. Oh, now we're up to 21. Awesome. I love that you guys are here. This is so great. All right. So what do you say we get into it? I don't think I really have a whole ton of announcements. I want to give you guys an eclipse reading, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about putting a meditation with it that you guys can download, and then not like a full natal chart read, but like, okay, this is your sun, moon, rising. This is where your eclipse is hitting, and this is what it might mean for you. I think that would be really helpful. And then you guys can go and have a link for the meditation. The only thing is these, a lot of you guys need readings right around the eclipse. And so in order to help as many of you as possible, the easier it is for me to deliver the energy to you, the more that I can do. So I'm still thinking about that, but I'll let you guys know. I'll send the link out when that's ready. And then, of course, Stellar Foundations is cooking. We just finished week 3. We did Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Next week is going to be all about Leo and the sun. So I'll be sending you guys some emails about what we're doing the next couple of weeks, because you'll notice there's a little bit less content in your modules for these 2 weeks. It's so you can catch up. It's so you can get to know sun, moon, rising signs and start actually working with charts. So hopefully you guys are doing that. Twilight Mist is here. Hello, my dear. Thank you so much for coming. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. Let's actually share the screen. We're going to look at the sky for this full moon. That way we can see where the moon actually is. A couple of things that you want to know for this full moon about how it's going to affect you is number one, where is Leo in your chart? What planets do you have in Leo? What house is your Leo constellation in? And so Lori posted at the top of the chat the link to just calculate where your birth positions are. It's completely free. Mastering the Zodiac gave me that code. I actually sent an email to Athen today to ask him if he wanted to come on and talk to us. So if we actually had Athen, the OG of constellational astrology, I think that would be epic. So I'm excited to hopefully bring him on if he has the time. So do that chart calculator. You'll get your birth chart. You can look where the green sign of Leo is, and whatever house, the inner ring, that's where this full moon is actually happening for you. So if you have, like I have Leo in my fourth house. So when I look at and Mars. So when I look at my chart, it's going to be Mars and moon conjunct in my fourth house. So the moon is conjunct my natal Mars, and it's all hanging out in my fourth house. So there's an emotional action around expression that'll probably take place really close to home for me. So Aushki has Mars in her Mars in Leo also, but this in her second house. So she has the same exact placement, but because it's in her second house as opposed to her fourth house, this is going to be around what she values, the things that she has. So that's what this cycle's about for her. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Then you also want to look where your moon is, because that can also be a place where you get affected. So for me, my moon is in Capricorn in my ninth house. So it's going to be around wisdom and achievement, basically those keywords around those constellations. So let's share the screen. Let's get into it. Let's see what the sky looks like. I'll show you a couple of websites for resources, and then we'll dive into the presentation. Awesome. Yeah, YouTube's funny. My channel has been growing pretty consistently. I'll have logarithmic spikes every now and then, usually around eclipses, which is cool. But recently, what's been happening is, and it's been ever since November, ever since the election, I'll get like 10 or 15 new subs from each video, and then they'll just kind of drop off. It's weird. I mean, I haven't been a YouTuber that long, so maybe this happens to everybody, but it's weird. But I definitely want to show the algorithm that I'm growing despite their best efforts to contain it. Okay, so here's the moon. Let's go ahead and move Leo up a little bit so we can see that. Look at that. I mean, you can't refute that. Obviously, this is a computer program, but if you just wait a few days, like 2 days when the moon's in Virgo, you'll see the full constellation of Leo. And you can see it. If you're in a darker area where you don't have a lot of ambient light, you will see this reverse question mark in the sky. One of the ways you can do it, let's see. Well, I don't want to mess with that. But anyway, there it is, right in the heart of Leo, right in Leo's chest. Leo moons are always full of emotion, right? It's heart energy. It's like, what do you love? What brings you joy? What makes you want to, dance and sing and just be yourself? I often think of the energy of like little children just playing, because they don't care what anybody thinks. They know they're fine, and they're just in the energy of playing and having a good time. And romance and new love often feels like this too, doesn't it? You just want to play, you just want to laugh, you just want to make out, make love. It's just really, really good, strong energy. It's good for creative juices too. So whenever you're in that phase of just being sort of like uninhibited and having a good time, your ability to create is also very, very high. So very expressive energy. Sort of the downside of Leo might be a little bit of egotistical energy. Like, why aren't people paying attention to me? You know, like, why are my YouTube subs going down? You know, this is kind of that Leo energy. Why aren't you paying attention to me? I have a beautiful message for you. My words and my creativity are a gift for you. How come you don't want? You know, that's kind of where Leo energy might be at a downside. So a lot of people will see that as ego. Really, the journey of Leo, y'all, even if it's anything's in Leo, especially the sun, especially the moon, it's about just sort of the innocence and the love of the inner self, the inner child. That inner child journey where you can like forgive all of your past transgressions and like literally just be in love with who you are and how God created you. Uh, then that's the journey, right? Like once you know that, then you're magnetic. Then you don't need to care. Then you don't need to worry about what other people think because you're being you. And that's why they seem egotistical, because if you come at a Leo with any of your own sort of problems or you know, holes in your own armor, their beautiful light's just going to shine right through those holes and you're going to feel it. You're going to feel triggered. And you might point fingers at the Leo, but it's actually your own trigger. So it's super interesting energy. Overall, I love it. I always think of Matthew 18, I think it's either 30 or 3. I can't remember which verse it is, but it talks about the innocence of a child, how the child will gain access to the kingdom of heaven because of their innocence and their innocent love. So this is just beautiful, wonderful energy. I love Leo energy. It's so charming. It's so magnanimous. It's so generous. It's so giving. Um, Meanwhile, we have Sun finishing up Capricorn, and literally 2 days after Sun, let's take out that atmosphere. Literally 2 days after this full moon, Sun will be in the stars of Aquarius, and one might even argue that he's already there, that the Sun is already there on the 12th. So we're dealing because the arm of Aquarius is over Capricorn, and actually my moon's right here. So I'm having like a Sun Moon conjunction for this. So for this full moon. So you guys can also look at this area of your chart as well, the cuspy energy between Capricorn and Aquarius. Now, if you listen to tropical astrology, they're going to tell you that Pluto's right here, but Pluto's actually not right here. Pluto's over here. And I can show you. We can just type in Pluto right now. Right there. That's where Pluto actually is. The other thing that's interesting is that this is the last degree of Capricorn, I think 23 degrees for the sun. And Mercury, if you look at the chart, is just, so this is the literal dividing line on our Prometheus Capricorn charts right here. So Mercury's in Aquarius and Sun's in the very late and critical degree of Capricorn, but we might as well call them Aquarian energy. So you can say it's a Capricorn Leo axis, but I really just like this Leo and Aquarius axis. They go together in traditional astrology. They're literally opposite the sky from one another. And the emergence of Aquarius energy feels like a deep breath. So I feel like after this full moon, there is a tension building. I can feel it, but it's also, you know, it also may be just because of my own placement. So I'm curious how you guys are feeling the swelling moon energy. We just had the square moon 2 days ago. Now it's swelling energy. Are you feeling anxiety? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling an expansiveness? Let me know in the chat how you're feeling. So, so yeah, so we have Mercury and Sun here. This is also, what's today? Today's the 7th. So in 2 days, let's back this up a little bit. I just want to show you the sky in motion. In about 2 days from now, right here, Sun and Mercury are conjunct. So this is a couple days from now. This is the beginning of the Mercury cycle. So hopefully, if you guys have been following my work, I always tell you when we have this every 116 days, that this is the time for the asking of the universe. This is sending your intentions to Mercury. Mercury's going to the underworld behind the sun, delivering the message to source. So keep on it, even though you're not getting responses, even though you're not getting answers, just keep setting the intentions forward. You know, say, yes, my channel is growing despite what's happening with YouTube. Yes, I am impacting people in the way that I imagine. You understand what I'm saying? So if you can stay positive, keep those thoughts bright, even if you don't know what you want, just stay positive for whatever situation you're in, then you'll find that by the time Mercury reaches its retrograde peak its Mercury star point, which is right between the two eclipses, you guys, then the question will be answered. The intention will be received and delivered to you. So just try that out. Just a cool little numerology thing. If you multiply 116 days, which is Mercury's cycle, times pi, you get 365. So we have this circular spiral going on with this energy. This is very potent magic, and I do talk about it in my other videos. So that's cool. By the time we get to the full moon, though, this will be Mercury's entrance into Aquarius, and then 2 days later, the sun officially enters Aquarius. So there you have it. That's those two bodies. Saturn, you guys, is really close to moving into Pisces. This will be about a 3 or 4 year transit. This will be long. This will be dissolving of boundaries. This will be dissolving of time. But the very last degrees of Aquarius, I can almost imagine that the shackles of Saturn are loosened once we transit from the stars of Aquarius to Pisces with Saturn. That there might be a feeling of being a little bit held back right now for all your grand and amazing and wonderful ideas, but that as we move into Pisces, it might be like, okay, Saturn's just kind of giving up. Like the ego part of Saturn is just sort of like, I'm done. I'm over it. I'm done trying to control. So that might be something to look forward to. It's a strange time. I'm not really sure how Saturn's going to be in Pisces. I'm looking back in my own life. I just turned 50 this past year, so I can think back to when Saturn was in Pisces. I've lived long enough to do that. So I'll be looking into that a little bit. Saturn doesn't really do that till later this year, so that's interesting. And then Venus. Oh my gosh, y'all. Venus and Pisces. Let's find Neptune because they've been real snug lately. Right here. So Neptune's between Saturn and Venus in the visible sky. So you can see both of these in the night sky if you look up after the sun sets. It won't be for long because once sun moves into Aquarius, then the sun will dim Saturn. You'll only see Saturn for like a brief minute right after sunset. Venus is also sinking, but Venus will be back this way. Once she goes retrograde on the 28th of February, 1st of March, she'll move back into the Neptune North Node space, which is right here. And that's what those big decodes are about. So we're definitely trying to understand this energy for you guys. And then let's see. Oh, yeah. Jupiter and Uranus in Taurus both are now direct. So this should be amazing. So as Jupiter is direct, expanding in Taurus, and Saturn is kind of fading into the stars of Pisces and releasing the boundaries, we might start feeling a major expansion. So I'm already feeling better just kind of doing my own astrology over here. And then Mars. Mars is in Gemini. And this is brilliance. This is creativity, but we're retrograde still. So wanting to take action, wanting to receive, wanting to go for it. Come on, let's go. This energy feels a little bit pushed down. Okay. Even though Mars and Saturn are in a trine, they're in a very nice combination where they flow, where normally Mars wants to step on the gas and Saturn wants to hit on the brakes. So just remember, if you're like, I'm somebody that wants to go fast. I have a fire Mars. So I want to speed up. I want to do it. Let's go. Let's do it right now. And so for me, this is about taking the appropriate, responsible steps with integrity. And then when Mars turns direct on the 24th of this month, so not too long, just another couple of weeks, I think we'll all start to feel collectively this moving forward energy. All right, cool. So that is mostly the sky there. We're going to look at a chart here in a minute, but I wanted you to see the sky first because I think that really helps us connect to the chart a little bit better. How are you guys feeling about that? Let's see who's talking. Let's see. N0 has a moon in Leo in the 9th house. Awesome. Lots of Leo moons here. Yeah, you Leos love to talk about yourselves, but that's okay. I get it. Like, I love it. Tracy Gore's here. Hello, ma'am. All right. Leo moon in the 4th house. Ouchki says, did you hear a Leo roar? I need to roar. I want to roar. Xena Warrior Queen says sun is in Leo and sun moon are squares. Yeah. Christine Yan, hello, my love. Thank you for coming. Chat with Laura. Chat with Lorna says, I've had some intense emotions yesterday. Really old tapes come up. Amazing. Yes. Heather says, yesterday was a doozy. Felt a little frustrated and contemplative of what brings me joy. Isn't it crazy? Like all these beautiful alignments, and yet we still feel all these tensions. Oh, Lori's here. Hey, Lori. Hi from San Diego, Dr. Danny. I caught you live. Feeling anxious. It's weird. Confident, anxious. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Lori says her anxiety's off the hook. Wearing a breathing necklace. Yeah. Yeah. Cool, cool. All right. Well, don't forget to thumbs up the video, subscribe if you're lurking, share this video with someone who wants to learn about constellational astrology. Before I dive into the chart and into the PowerPoint, I wanted to just let you guys know where I get my decoding resources so that if you wanted to decode, you can too. I've been learning from just watching Logan on Decode Your Reality. I also got a reading from him. He's a fantastic, beautiful human. Right here is the website that he and Jordan of Waters Above created for decoding purposes. They have hundreds of ciphers in here. Like literally, if you were into this, you would go bananas. And I am. I'm actually working with a lot of different ciphers. One of the ones we're going to use today is not an alphanumeric. Let's see. It was, where was it? I don't know where it went in here. Hold on, let me find it. Here it is. So under Latin is the Agrippa key. So we're going to be using that in our decode because this guy actually has his own cipher. Isn't that crazy? It reminds me of Hebrew gematria, but I'm not. If any of you actually know that, please let me know where this might have actually come from. Because what would be really helpful, and I don't know if Logan or Jordan watch me, but if they do, if you guys know them, it would be nice to have like a little explanation square over here. I know that's more programming, but that would be fascinating to have that. I'm also using Number Empire. You can go here and type in any number you want, and it will tell you if it's a prime, if it's a certain, if it's a what the number's prime number. Like if it's, let's say you put in 15, it'll tell you what the 15th prime number is. It'll tell you if it's a Fibonacci number. It'll tell you all sorts of cool things about numbers. So you can type in any number here. If you go to Logan's website, cosmicsugar.org, under resources and download the resources, you will have this pack of pictures that you can use for your decode. So it'll give you 365 days of the year. It'll give you the birthday chart for the cards of illumination, the number for the cards of illumination deck. So if you pick like 7 of diamonds is 33. And then the tarot. And then also it'll give you the life configuration, spirit configuration for these cards if you choose to analyze your cards that way. And then the medicine deck, which is what we're going to be using today. And then that's mine. But so we're going to use this deck today, and we're going to read 4 different animals. And they're going to, and also the astrology, it's going to help us get an intention so that we can create a moon sigil using the Mercury Magic Square. So that's what this presentation's about. Actually, before we get into I want to do something real quick with you guys. Stop sharing. I want to just talk to you about the magic that we're doing. Okay. This is, a lot of us talk about magic. A lot of us talk about, yeah, I do this, or I create sigils, or I have candles, or I do moon rituals, or I cleanse my crystal. I do all these different things. But to show it to you is actually really, really fascinating. And to use numerology to choose our intention based on the astrology, which is incredibly synchronous, I hope will blow your mind. Because what we're doing is we're doing it digitally. And in the ancient practices, if you were creating a sigil around an intention, especially if you wanted to use fire magic, you would burn the paper that you wrote it on. But we don't really have, this isn't written down anywhere. This is bits, this is zeros and ones, this is coding, because we're looking at it on a screen. And so I guess you could associate that with air. I guess you could associate that with ether. So this is sort of a new road for magic to see it happen on the internet. So we're going to create a sigil, we're going to activate it, and then I'm going to let you choose what you want. And then I'm also going to let you have the opportunity to take the grid before we draw it. Um, for your own using. So if there's a different intention that you want to try, I'm going to teach you how to actually use the Chaldean cipher with whatever intention that you have, and put it in here yourself. So you guys will also know how to do this. Okay. All right. So be lighthearted, be open-minded. This isn't to take away from anybody's religious or spiritual beliefs or practices. If you guys have a lot of experience with these types of things, and you believe that I'm misinformed, please let me know. This is the first time I'm ever doing this in a public space, and I think, we all kind of do our own thing that searches, or helps us with our own journey. So this is my journey. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's totally cool. If you do it a different way and it's the only way or you were taught that that's the only way to do it, then I'm sorry if that upsets you, but this is just an exercise in learning and using practical magic as a modern human, as a modern magician. So, all right, let's get into it. Let's get into it. So, no offense intended. This is for our highest good. Okay, let me hide that. Let's get into this PowerPoint. And once again, I'm going to do the presentation mode because I'm very happy that I can draw on these. So we've already done the astrology part. Now we're going to just review the chart real quick, just so you guys can see where everything is in this chart. I have notes right here that I want to just keep in front of me. There we go. I also want to point out, excuse me, I'm just going to cough. Okay, I just want to point out a couple of cool things about this chart before we even read the energy, because we're going to see these numbers again. Okay, let's see. Thing one is my felt tip pen. And notice that the sun is in Capricorn and Mercury is in Aquarius. And remember, my goodness, remember that Aquarian symbol, his arm, the stars actually go over this space. Also, we'll see a little bit later that Capricorn in Chaldean numerology is 23 or 32, I think. And then the sun is at 23 degrees of Capricorn. So that's kind of cool. That's pretty amazing. As soon as I saw that, I was like, wow, all right, amazing. So here we see our full moon. Our full moon is actually an opposition. And when I reviewed the aspects with you guys a couple videos ago, we saw how this works and how we get the opposition. They're actually just 180 degrees apart from each other in the stellosphere. And if you were to take a slice of that stellosphere and make it this circle that we're looking at, they're on the opposite side of the chart with us. So this is about visionary thinking with Mercury there. We're integrating logic and heartfelt action at the same time. It's a really weird and uncomfortable combination. There's also an energy of sovereignty and responsibility here, with the Aquarian wanting us to be free, and the Saturnian energy of Capricorn wanting us to take responsibility. So we get that sort of combination that says sovereignty and responsibility. We may also be asked to step into leadership, to express ourselves, right? Because this is all like high vibe, collective energy. What you're doing in the public space, Leo's about expressing yourself, either through your art, getting on the stage, being in the limelight, but emoting in the limelight, right? Because the moon is about our emotions. So if I tell you guys how I am feeling while this moon is swelling, then that's a great way to use the moon. So tell me how you guys are feeling in the chat. I know some of you are feeling this moon swell, feeling this anxiety, maybe feeling a little bit shaky, but if you speak it, it might feel a little bit better for sure. Now, Uranus is squaring the sun and moon this round. So again, we're bringing in that Aquarian energy because Uranus rules Aquarius. That forward thinking, but it's also erratic energy. It's nervous system energy. It's like the unexpected. It almost feels like with Uranus in a square to both sun and moon, that there's going to be like a pop, like it might be an emotional expression, and then, or maybe some sort of erratic and strange or unexpected manifestation of that emotional expression. Mercury and Uranus are octaves of one another. So if you look at your solar system model, and I like this for astrology because it helps me think about how everything moves. If you have your sun here, Mercury is in here in the inner solar system, communicating with Earth and Venus and Mars, and Uranus is way out here in the cosmic, like checking out, the new information from source and beyond. And they connect with each other, via the fourth dimension, via the quantum field. And now they're in a tension with one another. So it's that age old like tension between the Saturnian energy of Capricorn and Aquarius with, the Uranus energy. Saturn being, I know all the rules, I follow all the rules, I know all the information, I have all the knowledge. Where Uranus is like, nope, there's more. Now that you're the expert, now you have to break pattern. Now you have to break the rules so that you can know more. So there might be some kind of unexpected manifestation of this emotional pop that we feel during this full moon. Uranus is in a very nice trine with asteroid Lilith in Sagittarius, right? So this is our instincts. This is our spiritual instincts. So it might be that we get guidance somehow through spirit, through the higher knowledge, through the esoteric wisdom, not necessarily through knowledge or understand, like knowledge in terms of bits and bytes. Like, what do I know about this particular topic? But it's more like, what do I GNO know about this topic? What's my gnosis about this topic? And what's the best way to move forward through in a unique and individual way? Black asteroid Lilith is also making a trine to South Node and a sextile to North Node Neptune. This is important because when we're talking about moon energy, you want to know about the nodes. Okay. The North Node is Rahu and the South Node is Ketu. This is the tail of the snake and this is the head of the snake. Can you guys hear my stomach growling? That's so funny. And we've decoded this Neptune and Rahu together. This is Neptune's house is Pisces. I mean, this is just a really spiritual, very high vibe place, very artistic place. Rahu's desire. It's what you strive for. It's what you want to gain and do in this lifetime. And to go to a place where it's all kind of chill and spiritual might be kind of hard. Like you might be feeling, well, what do I do now? When really the best thing to do is really nothing. So, oh, really? I got it backwards? Oh, rats. Thanks for telling me that. Let me fix it. Hold on, you guys. This is a lot. I feel like I need a team to make sure I do my stuff right. Okay. Yeah, let's switch it. Let's try this one. Oh, that'll be better. That'll be better. Good thing I didn't get into the decode yet. We're just looking at the chart. I'm so glad you guys are here fixing me. All right, here it is, guys. So, yeah, I've just been talking about what we looked at in the sky. So hopefully you guys were able to see that. That was probably small too. I'll actually go back to the sky once we're done here if you want me to. Let me know if you want me to go back to the sky. If you want me to keep moving, I can do that too. Either way. Okay, yeah. So, we have this chill place where the space may be literally just to sit with spirit and sit it out and wait and see what divine intuition comes through. And it'll help us deal with this much, much better, I think. Okay, so let's see. Black Moon Lilith is also in the mix. Black Moon Lilith and Asteroid Lilith are two different energies, but somewhat related. If you have Asteroid Lilith in her orbit around the sun, for example, she's going to have a point in her orbit where she's the farthest away from the sun. This is called the apogee point. This is Black Moon Lilith's spot. This point precesses around the sun, no matter where asteroid Lilith may be. So she might be right here right now, but her apogee point is over here. The moon has an apogee point. The earth has an apogee point as well. So Black Moon Lilith is chaos. It's Nyx. It's divine creation birthing itself from the void, creating male and female that, creating knowledge and spirit. So it's like this is the first energy. This is where Uranus was born from. Uranus came from the primordial mother. Um, and she is trying to Sun Mercury, but then square to both Pluto and asteroid Lilith. So the trine to the sun and moon may be that there's this magic chaos energy bubbling up that we can use, that we can express, that we can work with to use because this is Virgo, right? This is magician energy. This is creation, destruction energy. Very powerful spot for chaos to be. It's going to bubble through and manifest. You're going to find out that you actually do have magic powers. But the sun and Mercury together will help you realize that, to help you see that, or maybe even set intentions toward it. So I think it's really perfect that we're, exploring this little piece of magic for this particular moon event. Now, in a square to Pluto and asteroid Lilith, this can be tough if we have blocks to this energy. If we have blocks to this creative energy, this is where we may have to take some sort of purifying, transformative action to access it. Right? So what might that mean for you? Well, I guess it would depend on, where, this square is happening. It's Virgo, Sag, Cap, cusp. So I have, I have Uranus sitting there. And then right between those two, I don't have any luminary. So Black Moon Lilith's over my Uranus, which is, Pluto might be squaring to. So you could read it like that. But I really feel like if this energy is not blocked, then there's a transformative swell of creative energy that's going to bubble up from us, and we have to learn how to use it responsibly. If we're blocked, if that Kundalini creative pathway is blocked for you, access to sources blocked for you, it's going to be made open for you through a transformative process, probably. Okay, let's see what else is happening here. So Venus and Jupiter are not aspecting anyone during this full moon. So that's interesting. This is really nice because wherever you have Venus and Jupiter in your chart, they don't have any blocks or assistance right now, but they don't need it because they're generally very nice, pleasant planets. Venus is about love and beauty and arousal and creativity, and Jupiter is about expansion and abundance and faith and optimism. And so I think that if we, put ourselves in a good mindset, that if we tap into Venus and Jupiter energies, we let our suppressed creative energy bubble up and heal all that, we have an opportunity to really express our true feelings, our true authentic self. And then of course we have that trine between Mars and Saturn, which I talked about in the previous video. While Mars is retrograde, I believe that once he's direct, this will feel a lot better, feel a lot easier for a lot of people. And then of course we have this new Phoenix angle where Black Moon Lilith is making a Phoenix angle back to Saturn. So I thought about this. Let me pull it up. Black Moon Lilith. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So we talked about the Phoenix angle. It's 137.5 degrees. I derived this angle from taking the golden ratio through the length of the circle. So if you were to measure the distance between Saturn and Black Moon Lilith going this way, you would get one distance. If you measured these little radian degrees from this way to Black Moon Lilith, you would get another distance that is approximately at the ratio of 1.618, which is the golden mean, which is phi. Okay, so that's where this angle comes from. It's basically the line between the two luminaries that make this ratio with their angle. And I had Prometheus Capricorn set it up so that I could see what these angles look like, and I put it in green. So here's what we're thinking about. This symbolizes a death and a rebirth in relation to authority, wisdom, and self-mastery. This energy disrupts rigid Saturnian structures whenever, because Black Moon Lilith is chaos, right? So when you have the structure and the integrity and the foundations of Saturn, Black Moon Lilith comes in there and says, no, this is going to die. I'm going to pull it back into the chaos and we're going to create something else. So this means we're shedding outdated identities and we're rising into a greater authenticity. And I think that's really important where Saturn is heading, especially on these last degrees of Virgo or of Virgo of Aquarius. So there's a tension here between personal sovereignty and societal expectations. We're feeling that, aren't we? Like, yeah, we want to be creative. We want to express ourselves. We want to do magic in public and not feel like we're going to be suppressed or hung or, chased after with torches and burned at the stake as witches, right? Um, so there's a portal to empowerment and self-reclamation here. That's what Phoenix means to me. It's like dying and being reborn and owning that, owning it, right? So how do you embrace responsibility without sacrificing personal truth? And I think that is the question that we need to ask ourselves as this full moon comes, as this Phoenix angle takes effect. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow is the Phoenix angle of moon to sun. So monitor your emotions tomorrow. Let me know how that's going for you because I am researching this angle. I'm researching what it might mean. This obviously is going to last longer than moon and sun in a Phoenix angle. It'll be right here in Gemini next to Mars. So today we are here. Yesterday we are here. The moon will be right here tomorrow, and it will be at a Phoenix angle back to sun and moon. So see how that Gemini moon Mars conjunction in a Phoenix angle back to sun Mercury feels for y'all tomorrow. Let me know. All right, let's that's the astrology. So let me show you some absolutely amazing connections. Doing numerology has literally expanded my love for astrology because I always knew, I always look at numbers. I'm always interested in patterns. I memorize numbers better than I remember names. I remember birthdays better than I remember your last name or what it is that you like to do. Like I'll remember your birthday and your moon degrees before I'll like remember that we even had a conversation sometimes. I mean, that's how numbers have always affected me. And when I began to study the numerology and the different techniques that were available, I was ecstatic because the synchronicities that I'm always seeing all the time with numbers and with, being connected to the stars, now I can explain it. Now I can show you where they are. So instead of just having it be like an inside joke between me and the universe, now I can share that with you. That amazing, like awesome connection that we are so a part of. And you can even take personal information about yourself, like your name, your birthday, how old you are, your birth card, your tarot card, and you can do all of this and weave a story or a code for yourself, and you'll notice synchronicities around you in that as well. So let's get into it. This is going to be cool. What happened to my fifth slide? Oh yeah. So we're gonna do cold bear eagle first. And so I went ahead and I used the Chaldean cipher because these are just, we're not into the Venus Phi golden ratio energy for this particular decode. So Chaldean, Logan recommends just using that for your general purposes. And it's been very useful. So I got 40 for cold moon. You'll notice that moon's 23 and that the sun was in the 23rd degree of Capricorn on our chart. I thought that was interesting. But I swear, no matter what I did, I took cold moon, I took 40, I put it in all kinds of numerology site, and I just couldn't find anything connected to this moon. It doesn't mean that it isn't connected. The word's cold moon. 17 might be, moon for sure is, but in terms of like where are we going with it, I just couldn't find anything. So I got frustrated and I typed in no decode and I got 40. So I thought that was a funny little joke. It was basically spirit telling me, yeah, cold moon's probably not going to have a lot for you in what it is you're trying to convey and getting at the magic moon square or the moon magic square. So I said, okay, well, let's do eagle moon. Let's see what eagle moon will show us. And I don't have the website here, but this is yumpu.com. You can go here and you can get the reading for Eagle. And it's the first card in the medicine deck, which is amazing. So, the first card that you're going to pick up in the medicine deck is going to be the Eagle card. So here, let's read this because this really, really synchronizes with our moon energy and that Lilith phoenixing back to Saturn. Eagle medicine is the power of the Great Spirit, the connection to the divine. It is the ability to live in the realm of spirit and yet remain connected and balanced within the realm of the earth. The eagle soars and is quick to observe expansiveness within the overall pattern of life. From the heights of the clouds, Eagle is close to the heavens where the Great Spirit dwells. The fathers of Eagle are considered to be the most sacred of healing tools. The feathers. It's the feathers, I'm sorry. The feathers of eagles. They've been used for centuries by shamans to cleanse the auras of patients coming into them for healing. With the belief systems of Native American tribes, Eagle represents a state of grace achieved through hard work, understanding, and a completion of the tests of initiation, which result in the taking of one's personal power. It is only through the trial of experience, the lows in life as well as the highs, that through the trial of trusting one's own connection to the Great Spirit, that the right to use the essence of the Eagle medicine is earned. So, right, this death and rebirth, this phoenix energy is like, this is where you earn the eagle feathers. This is where you can learn to soar. So if we've pulled the eagle symbol, the eagle's reminding us to take heart and to gather our courage. For the universe is presenting you with an opportunity to soar above the mundane levels of your life. The power of recognizing this opportunity may come in the form of a spiritual test. In being astute, you may recognize the places within your soul, personality, emotions, or psyche that need bolstering or refinement. By looking at the overall tapestry, Eagle teaches you to broaden your senses of self beyond the horizon of what is presently visible. In learning to fiercely attack your personal fear of the unknown, the wings of your soul will be supported by the ever-present breezes, which are the breath of the Great Spirit. Feed your body, but more importantly, feed your soul. Within the realm of Mother Earth and Father Sky, the dance that leads to flight involves the conquering of fear and the willingness to join in the adventure that you are co-creating with the divine. If the eagle has majestically soared into your cards, you are being put on notice to reconnect with the element of air. Air is of the mental plane, and in this instance, it is of the higher mind. Wisdom comes in many strange and curious forms, and it is always related to the creative force of the Great Spirit. If you have been walking in the shadows of former realities, Eagle brings illumination. Eagle teaches you to look at the higher and touch the Father Son with your heart, to love the shadows as well as the light, to see the beauty in both, and you will take flight like the eagle. Eagle medicine is a gift we give ourselves to remind us of the freedom of the skies. Give yourself permission to legalize freedom and to follow the joy your heart desires. Wow. That's powerful. That's so powerful. So, okay, I love that. I'm going to call it Eagle Moon. There's a couple of connections throughout this decode to the Eagle Moon, but let's look at Bear Moon. Here's the sun in Capricorn. It's 52. And there are 52 cards in the medicine deck. So I thought that was a really nice synchronization. Capricorn in 32, moon is 23, sun is 14. So let's see what else we can find out. The moon magic square, if you type that into the Chaldean cipher, will give you 53. So I subtracted that from 52, the number of cards in the medicine deck, and I got 1. So it took us right back to Eagle. Okay, so keep Eagle in mind as you're working with this full moon. It's also called Bear Moon. Bear Moon's 33, which is a beautiful number. And 33 is actually tied to Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. The bear card's number 5. So let me read you the bear. The strength of the bear medicine is power of introspection. It lies in the west on the great medicine wheel of life. The bear seeks honey, or the sweetness of truth, within a hollow old tree. In the winter, when the ice queen reigns and the face of death is upon the earth, bear enters the womb cave to hibernate, to digest the year's experience. It is said that our goals reside in the West also. To accomplish the goals and dreams that we carry, the art of introspection is necessary. To become like the bear and enter the safety of the womb cave, we must attune ourselves to the energies of the Eternal Mother and receive nourishment from the placenta of the Great Void, which is where Black Moon Lilith lives, you guys. The Great Void is the place where all solutions and answers lie in harmony with the questions that fill our realities. If we choose to believe that there are many questions to life, we must also believe that the answer to these questions reside within us. Each and every being has the capacity to quiet the mind, enter the silence, and know. Many tribes have called this space of inner knowing the dream lodge, where the death of the illusion of physical reality overlays the expansiveness of eternity. It is in this dream lodge that our ancestors sit in council and advise us regarding alternative pathways to lead us to our goals. This is the power of Bear. The female receptive energy that for centuries has allowed visionaries, mystics, and shamans to prophesy is contained in this very special bear energy. In India, the cave symbolizes the cave of Brahman. Brahman's cave is considered to be the pineal gland that sits in the center of the four lobes of the brain. If one were to imagine an overview of the head, the top of it would be a circle. The south would be the forehead, the north the back of the skull, the west would be the right brain, and the east would be the left brain. So if Bear is in the west, Bear is the right side of the brain. To hibernate, Bear travels to the cave, which is the center of the four lobes where the pineal gland resides. In the cave, Bear seeks answers while dreaming and hibernating. When Bear is then reborn in the spring, like the opening of spring flowers. For eons, all seekers of the dream time and of visions have walked the path of the silent, calming internal chatter, reaching the place of rites of passage, the channel or the pineal gland. From the cave of the bear, you will find the pathway to the dream lodge and other levels of imagination or consciousness. In choosing Bear, the power of knowing has invited you to enter the silence and become acquainted with the dream lodge so that your goals may become concrete realities. This is the strength of the bear. Wow. Amazing. So now we can take the date of February 12th, now that we have these energies around it, hibernation going in, and then soaring above our fears, seeing a higher perspective, connecting with Great Spirit. This particular day is 59 in Chaldean numerology, in any numerology, because numbers are numbers, right? It reduces to 14, which reduces to 5, which is the bear. Its key element is praseodymium, being number 59. And it's also the 43rd day. And we did this in our last video. But the word full moon is 43. And I just think that's so synchronistic that if you spell full moon in Chaldean, it's 43 and it's the 43rd day. So another affirmation, another synchronicity to this particular day that we're analyzing. If you look at moon sigil in Chaldean numerology, you get 34. Moon's reflective. Moon's a mirror. Moon is showing us the sun's light. And so if we look into the mirror of the moon, we get the reversal of the numbers and get 34. 43 is the 14th prime number, and 14 is sun. So again, just beautiful synchronicities. Yes, this day is a full moon. Here's how all the numerology ties it together. Here's another cool one. Moon in Leo is 44. Responsible expression are also 44 and 44. And this is what we analyzed in the astrology. So it's like, I don't know if I can get a bam or a woohoo, that might be pretty awesome because we are going to actually use this particular phrase in our moon magic square. So you'll see these two words again very shortly. But I wanted to show you that it's tied into the numerology. So 59, if you were to put it into number empire, you'll realize that it's the 17th prime and that the mountain lion is 17. And I was like, "Okay, bear, eagle, that's a lot of energy, but we're in Leo now, right?" So Leo is the lion in our astrology. And so I'd love to also read you guys the mountain lion because this is great. This is amazing. Hopefully y'all are just settling in and enjoying this. Mountain lion can be a very difficult power totem for you to have because it places you in a position to be a target for the problems of others. You could be blamed for things going wrong or for always taking charge when others cannot. You could become the perfect justification for the insecurities of others. Did I not just say all this about the moon being in Leo? The whole ego energy, right? How people just think of Leo as selfish and egotistical when it's actually just the true love of the self. Mountain lion medicine involves lessons on the use of power in leadership. It is the ability to lead without insisting that others follow. It is the understanding that all things are potential leaders in their own ways. The use and abuse of power in a position or influence are part of this great cat's medicine. By observing the graceful pounce of the mountain lion, you will learn how to balance power, intention, physical strength, and grace. This relates in human terms to the balance of the body, mind, and spirit. The giant feline never wastes anything. It only kills what it needs for survival. The female lion is the hunter who graces her table in a style akin to mother energy. If mountain lion has come to you in dreams, it is a time to stand on your convictions and lead yourself where your heart takes you. Others may choose to follow, and the lessons will multiply. If you've pulled the card mountain lion, you might be asked to review the purpose behind your personal beliefs. You may need to discover whether or not your plans include a pride of cubs wanting to be like you or to share in your dreams. If you are already a leader, the question may be whether or not the time has come to push the cubs out of the cave. If you are aligned with cat medicine, you are considered to be king of the mountain and never allowed to be human or vulnerable. The pitfalls are many, but the rewards are great. In assuming the place of power that mountain lion affords, you must constantly be aware of keeping peace. However, you can never make everyone happy unless you lie to yourself or others. This is human nature. Therefore, the first responsibility of leadership is to tell the truth. Know it and live it, and your example will filter down to the tiniest cub in the pride. Responsibility is no more than the ability to respond to any situation, and panic is not part of this sacred medicine. Damn. Okay. I love it. I love it. It's all very synchronous to our actual astrology, and we're just doing it through numerology. So let's take a quick look at Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. Man, so if you think back to the time when this guy was born, the late 1400s, this was like just the young, very early Renaissance time. People were still coming out of that whole very religious Middle Ages where the church was in control and in charge, and now people were starting to become enlightened. This individual died at the age of 48, but before he did that, he was a soldier. Then he went to university and he studied theology, astrology, and medicine. Okay. Then he went out there in the world, became a legal expert, traveled to India, to Egypt, to China, and absorbed all these ancient cultures, magic and esoteric knowledge. And then he tried to combine it or to line it up with Christian theology. This guy was a true spiritist, a true, like in the spirit of the Christ, not necessarily like he learned the Bible, but then became, someone who wanted to walk the path of the Christ. And so now he's got this magic and he's trying to incorporate it. And he did that with the 3 books of occult philosophy. And it took him about 15, 20 years to finalize the book, to get it in its final form. And then the students that he had around him tried to save his reputation after he died, but posthumously he was somebody that was accused of being a heretic, of course, a necromancer, all of those horrible, evil things. It was still just too early. So he was like an OG truther. He if you imagine this guy having a podcast, he's somebody that really did it, that walked the walk and went around to learn and to understand esoteric energy. Are you guys still with me? I see the chat. All right. I'm going to keep going. Hopefully, you guys are all still there. All right. So he was born in September 14th, 1486, and died February 18th of 1535. Just a 48-year-old man. That's it, with all of this knowledge. So, but his knowledge did survive, thankfully. And so those of us that are just coming in, we can learn about his energy and what he did. So that's why this OG probably has his own cipher on Decode.co. So we're going to use his cipher. I didn't even know he had his own cipher. I had seen the word Agrippa when I was looking through it. And then when I started researching the Moon Magic Square, his name came up and I said, oh, wow, he's got his own cipher. So we did his name, and Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, if you put it in his own cipher, is 877. That's a huge number. And in numerology, you have to deal with those levels of numbers. And so what I thought I'd do is just do the medicine deck reduction, take 52 away from that number until I get to a number that is less than 52. That happened 16 times. I got the number 45. 45 is the blue heron. So this is the last card I'm going to read you, and then it'll go a little quicker and we'll zip through this. All right. So here it is. Heron medicine is the power of knowing the self by discovering its gifts and facing its challenges. It's the ability to accept all feelings and opinions without denying any emotion or thought. The heron flies over those heron flies over those who are unaware of who they are and where they belong in the world, gently dropping a blue feather to them. A blue feather, a synchronicity. Heron asks that they follow their intuition and begin the empowering journey of self-realization. If the blue heron has flown into your cards today, it is urging you to dive into the watery world of feelings to seek your truth. Heron teaches you to develop your self-reflective skills so that you may come to know yourself in a very intimate way. Looking at yourself through the filmy lens of self-importance, the cloudy perceptions of low self-worth, or the myopic eyes of self-pity, you will never understand your true potential or appreciate the opportunities that appear. Heron asks that you examine yourself with a cold eye to see that what you wish to improve and how you want to change. If you get stuck in the process, it may be a sign that you are being too hard or too critical. Choosing to blame others or yourself, constantly pointing the finger at life situations, instead of claiming responsibility for your actions, shows that you lack the courage to face the enemy within. Heron medicine people are willing to look at themselves and see the truth of their motives, actions, feelings, dreams, goals, inner strengths, and inner weaknesses. In balancing those truths, Heron's medicine shows you how to meet the challenges of your personal weakness and how to continue developing the skills that lead into inner strength and certainty of purpose. The magnificence of your human spirit lies in waiting for the joy of discovery. If you are courageous enough to follow the water bird through the journey, Heron reminds you that every traveler on life's journey is a messenger and that every destination is the beginning of a new life cycle on the medicine wheel. So yeah, this man was pretty much a blue heron, right? He traveled, he followed the blue feathers, the clues around the world to come up with his conclusions. And coincidentally, if you take blue heron and put it in the Agrippa key, it reduces to 5, which is the bear card. Moon sigil is 305 in the Agrippa key. And if you take 305 and you do that medicine deck reduction 5 times instead of 16 times, you get 45 again. So I had to read you the blue heron because it said, read me, I'm here. I'm the 45th card. This will make sense. So I didn't get a synchronicity from the blue heron. I got a synchronicity from the numbers, which made me read this card, which then reminded me of a dream that I actually had about a month ago. So you see how all of these things are connected. This is so amazing. So if we take 877 and we use number empire, we get that it is the 151st prime. So it's a prime number string. And when you can find 3 or more of these, it's pretty cool. So if you look at the properties of 151, you get the 36th prime. And you remember how I told you that in his posthumous existence after he was dead, they called him a necromancer and a heretic. Well, necromancy's 36. Now, was this man a Satan worshiper? So, I don't know. It all depends on where you come from and what you think. Once again, all this is not to offend anyone's religious or spiritual beliefs. It's just the numerology, and it's interesting. Moon magic square in the Agrippa key is 53 in the Chaldean numerology, but is 666 in the Agrippa key. Some would say that this number is not satanic, that this number is actually one of the most magical numbers that exist. And that's why it's been given sort of a label, don't go here. It's too much power. You can't handle it. But that's where the true magic is. Oh, it's 111 where I am, Lori. 1111 where you are and 111 where I am. Again, magic. So let's look at his birthday. Mr. Agrippa was born on September 14th. So if you look at September 14th's card, you get the 10 of clubs. And the 10 of clubs, its number is 23. The moon is 23. It's associated with the 10 of wands in the tarot deck. So they're syncretic. If you have the 10 of clubs, you can pull the 10 of wands, and it's the same energy. And this is 32, which is the mirror, which is the inverse of that number. Capricorn is 32. And then if you take the death card of Mr. Agrippa, which was February 18th, it's right here. It's the 7 of diamonds. I didn't pull that up for you, but the 7 of diamonds is 33. It's the 33rd card in the deck. So, which is bare moon. Okay, so bare moon, 33. His birthday card pointing to Capricorn. These are the synchronicities that if you have the eyes to see them, you will see them everywhere you go, in everything you do, in the people that you talk to, in the books that you read, in the shows that you watch. When you drive down the street and see license plates or room numbers or whatever, these numbers will pop out for you. And this understanding these tools has helped me in tremendous ways see it. There's like almost a calm around my life because of my ability to investigate this. Now, every good scholar and polymath back in the day studied Latin. They knew Latin. It was one of their languages. And so De Occulta Philosophia Libra 3 was the original title of his book that he was writing. And so if we put that into the Agrippa key, we get 898. 898 using the 52 card reduction gives us 14, which is sun. So again, sun, moon, Capricorn energy, bare moon 33, just from the birthday and the book that this man wrote. We can also take the English version of this book, 3 books of the occult philosophy, and put it in the Chaldean numerology cipher, and we get 131. 131 is the 32nd prime. I mean, are you kidding me? That's his tarot birth card. That's, I don't know. If your jaw isn't hitting the floor, if you're not laughing your ass off right now, then I don't know what's wrong with you. This is amazing. So that's Mr. Agrippa. Now, in his book, the 3 books of the occult philosophy, in his second book, he went over these magic squares, these astrological magic squares. And the moon itself has 9 by 9, is a 9 by 9 grid. It's its own magic square. And these numbers are actually taken from his book. So this is the order of the numbers. I had to do extensive digging to make sure I had the right order. And then I also reduced them to the single digit number for you. So this is H.C. Agrippa's 9 by 9 moon magic square from the 3 books of occult philosophy. Okay, this is the OG's work right here. And you'll notice that each of these digits is unique. So you will not have a single digit repeat. The double digits repeat through this grid, the 1 through 81. The single digit reduction is interesting too, and we'll get into that. But the double digits are all unique. If you add up the number, you can screenshot this if you want to, guys, or pause it and just get out your calculator and add up these numbers. They will all, I already did it. They will all equal 369. 369. So 369, both horizontally and vertically. It's amazing. There aren't many iterations of it. And for Agrippa to figure this out back in the day when all they had were abacuses, you know what I mean? Like, this is amazing. I mean, computers can do it now in an instant, but like to figure this out when all you had was your mind, a pen and paper, or a pen and scroll, and an abacus, it was pretty incredible. And he did it. He also has a Venus square, a Saturn square, like all the planets have one, all the visible planets. So moon magic square, once again, just to remind you, in Chaldean is 53. You subtract that from the 52 reduction, you get 1, which is the eagle card. 41, the center square reduces to 5, which is the bear. Okay, so our moon magic square is tying back to our animals cards. Are you getting this? So this is like the universe saying, yes, keep going, keep using this. If you take 369 and you do the 52 reduction on that, you get 5. All these 5s. It's stunning. Blue heron was 5. Oh, when I did the when I reduced the double digit numbers down to their single digit numbers that you can see here in parentheses, because if you take 59, it'll be 14. 1 and 4 is 5. We're just reducing it to single digits. It reminded me of the Sudoku square. So I said, oh, okay, let me just put that in the cipher and see what that says. And I typed in Sudoku game and I got 41, which reduces to 5, which is the center square of the moon magic square. Another cool thing is if you take all the reduced numbers, the 1 through 9, which is what we have here. So what you'll see is in this diagonal, they go in order, which I'm pretty sure that Agrippa knew this when he did this, because the Chaldean cipher was, from back then too. So, so 1 through 9. And so if you add up 1 through 9, you get 45, which is a moon sigil. If you can also rearrange numbers in numerology, and I thought this was super interesting. I went ahead and swooped this around, changed the numbers around to get a prime number. And I got the 96th prime from 503. And I reduced that by 52 and I got 44. Do you guys remember where 44 came from? Bam. Okay. I get to do that because that's pretty amazing, if you ask me. Responsible expression. So this is what this moon magic square wants us to work out. Now, I'm going to show you, if you want to use a different intention, if something in this presentation stood out to you and you're saying, yeah, this is what this is more me for this moon, or you know where your moon is. And so another word comes up for you. I'm going to show you how to do this. So, but for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to explain it to you using responsible expression. And what you do is you go ahead and you type out your intention. It should be less than 80, maybe less than 50 letters that you end up with. So something short, okay? Like fame and fortune, maybe, or, I don't know, taking response, however you want to do the words, just something that's maybe 40 to 80 words long, 40 to 80 letters long. Then you go into your Chaldean cipher, take out the vowels. So for what I did for this one is I took out the R, the O, the I, the E for responsible. And I took out the E, the I, and the O for expression. Because what that does, when I was researching this, is when you take out the vowels, it gives you the essence of the word. So I think the less sense a word makes, then the meaning behind it becomes more powerful when you're doing magic. Because this word without any vowels doesn't make sense to my brain and my eyes right away. And that's a good thing. You don't want that. You want the essence of the word to be used. So anything that you use, And yes, I noticed a synchronicity. It was 52 when you put it in there, but I didn't do that on purpose. This is literally the next step you take. So check the number that you create when you take your own intention and put it into the Chaldean numerology cipher without the vowels and see what synchronicities pop up for you, because that'll be a new number for you. But for us, it's 52, and it goes right along with the cards in the medicine deck, goes right along with Sun and Capricorn. I mean, it's literally like, wow, okay, yes, that's the way to do it. So you take your grid, and do make sure that you screenshot this, you guys, so that you have your own grid. You go ahead and you take each letter and you plot it in order, starting with the top left corner. You look for the first number 2, and it's right here. Then you look for the first number 3, and you put it right here. Then you look for 8, and you put that right here. Then you look for 5, put that right there. 3, so I'm looking for another 3, which is right here. And then 2. So you guys get the idea. You just kind of go through the whole, I'm looking for a 5 now because we've done responsible. Now we're doing expression. 5's right here. 8's right here. See, this isn't spooky. This isn't necromancy. This isn't darkness. We're just creating something graphical that's unassociated with our thinking mind so that we can solidify and activate the intention for this moon cycle. And I think responsible expression is a very powerful thought. So those are the squares that I marked off. Here's what it looks like with official dots. And then I went ahead and I took away the grid so we could see the sigil a little bit better. And what you do now is you play with this. You can, so get out your creative head, get in your right side bare brain, stop worrying about politics, stop worrying about your sub counts and your YouTube exposure, and just draw a picture. Draw something that reminds you of this moon, that reminds you of responsible expression, or something that makes you inspired, maybe even makes you laugh. I don't know. I kind of saw the constellation of Scorpio when I did this. So I went ahead and put the stars of Scorpio in there just to kind of see if it fit. And that's a pretty good match, isn't it? So, Scorpio was the first thing that I saw. And since I'm an astrologer, it would make sense that my sigil for responsible expression is pointing me to Scorpio, saying there's some kind of transformative energy you need to look into. There's some kind of darker energy that you need to look into, something you need to uncover, you need to investigate, that potentially you need to heal from too. And it may not be pleasant. So I'm like, okay, there's something that's going to manifest or express itself in an erratic and crazy way because of Uranus during this moon for me. So I have my work cut out for me. I really do. Now, you could also make any fun shape you want. This kind of looks like a crab to me. So maybe responsible expression means keeping your shell over you and keeping the soft, juicy middle hidden for a minute, so that nobody takes your pearls. Right? That's what this could mean as a crab image. But I encourage you to play with that and to decide like what image works for you. And so I've activated the crab sigil here for you guys with responsible expression. I'm also a Cancer sun, so it makes sense for me. I'm expressing that this sigil that looks a little bit like a starry crab will activate your responsible expression through this lunation. And so we give it to the ether because that's what you do when you're working with the element of ether, I guess. And we'll just close the presentation. And we'll keep that. All right. So that's it for that presentation. So just to give you the timeline for the next video, I might do a teaching lecture between now and the 16th. And I might also publish a meditation. Actually, I am going to publish the meditation. Then we'll do this timeline. And then between these two, I'm going to do a teaching about light, the metaphysics of light. So that's the schedule. That's what's coming. I'm using this as my timeline for what I want to teach you. I'm letting these energies guide me, just so you know. So, all right, guys, that was my presentation. We went on for a little bit. How'd you guys like that? Seeking Truth has Neptune at 0 degrees of Scorpio. Yeah, so if you saw the Scorpio in that sigil, then it's probably for you. The sigil, or the Scorpio sigil. If the Scorpio didn't resonate with you, or if you don't have a lot of planets in Scorpio, if you're maybe resonating with a more inward energy, then use the Cancer, use the crab one. Or make your own, make your own and activate it with whatever you want to do, because you can go to this website, take the screenshot from this video, and you can put whatever intention you want. Let's see. Sovereignty might be a good one, because that was the eagle, right? Sovereignty and freedom. Let's do that. I'm going to just look that up real quick. Sovereignty and freedom. I'm going to take it out of the Agrippa key. I'm going to show you guys this. So you could potentially go here and use these letters for your sigil. Just remember to take out the vowels, right? So sovereignty and freedom would look like this. Keep the Y. And those are the letters that you would use. You would follow the cipher, the moon magic square. You'd find the 3, the 6, the 2 in order, starting from the top left. And then you'd have dots that you can trace out and create your own sigil. Whatever works for you, whatever resonates with you. So, all right, you guys. So just a quick heads up. I am going to publish a meditation for you guys that you can use during this full moon, probably early in the week, probably Monday or Tuesday. And it is channeled serpent light language. So I went ahead and I created a meditation for you guys where I actually channeled serpent language. I layered it. I put some echoes in there, so it sounds really spooky and amazing and awesome. And it's an exercise to open up and clear the chakras and to receive the message from that serpentine light language. So I hope you guys check that out. Do stay tuned for that. That will be published probably Monday or Tuesday. So, and then next Sunday we will do do some more of the Venus decoding. I will be not live for about another week because I have to work Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday of next week, 96 hours in the next 8 days. So I will be a little bit of a mess, and I don't really want to go live during that time frame. But I will be putting up little shorts and, of course, the meditation and getting you guys excited about next Sunday. So, all right, my loves. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for having an open mind and a light heart, and for all of your love and support. And don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you're lurking. Thank y'all so much. Love you guys. Let's play this. There we go. Bye, y'all.